Elon Musk and technocracy, technocracy, like democracy, but technocracy. Apparently, I don't think many people know this. And I saw it on another site called Democracy Now!, which is an American news station kind of thing. And I heard Grimes talk about this once, about believing in a technocracy. And apparently Elon Musk is living out kind of his grandfather's dream. His grandfather's dream of creating a technocracy where large business runs populations as opposed to governments. And for example, colonizing Mars would be a prime example of technocracy. And currently his bedfellow, Donald Trump, Elon Musk is from South Africa. His great-grandfather is from Canada. Donald Trump recently severed all aid to South Africa and offered refuge for white South Africans. I don't know. You know, there's so much going on nowadays. You can't even pay attention to it. It's too hard to really pay attention to it all. And so apparently, and so this technocracy in its early catharsis with his Canadian grandfather who was in jail for a while as being a Nazi sympathist, is that like he had a movement that was American based, and he was the Canadian head of this American technocracy in Canada. And he did jail time for a while because they were very sympathetic to the Nazis, and they very much act and dressed like Nazis. And there were documents saying that they were supportive of the Nazis. And then he leaves, goes to South Africa, largely because of apartheid. And so Elon Musk's parents made their large wealth, you know, being apartheid supporters, mining in South Africa. You know, kind of like what the CCP did recently. It's kind of like taking candy from a baby, you know, in terms of countries and colonization. And it really, you know, and apparently there was some anti-Judaism going on, obviously white supremacy. I think this is something that people really, really don't know anything about in relation to Elon Musk. Is really, he's living out his grandfather's dream today. You know, and with company names like Tesla, which is a very, very old name in terms of popularity. It's kind of like GE almost, which isn't his name either. But what I've always been wondering, like, why is Elon Musk paired up with Donald Trump? And it seems like the two have been planning this at least ever since Donald Trump got kicked out of Twitter. Donald Trump was banned from Twitter. Elon Musk bought out Twitter. It seems that it was a very planned thing. And then many, many things happened that led up to a point of how things are today in relation to the Donald Trump becoming the Presidente of America. And now they're talking about AI and who is one of the head honchos of this technocracy idea, you know, with Elon Musk. And granted, there is very much an AI war going on with someone like the CCP, and the Americans, for example, the thing about AI is that everyone's worried about AI being evil. I don't know that AI is evil, but AI could be programmed to be evil. You know, but what really is kind of evil is algorithms, right? And algorithms are kind of like largely what runs AI, right? You know, people have their own internal algorithm. For example, I've talked about this before. I've talked about AI before, and I've talked about algorithms before. You know, and perhaps banning American technology now is maybe something people want to consider. Not inviting American technology into Canada, right? Because what is this technocracy that Trump and Elon Musk are forging that has these very oligarchic kind of, I mean, it is in and of itself oligarchy. It's, you know, pushing the boundaries on oligarchy now in North America, which has done largely all around the world. But so my idea is that in bringing in American technology that may involve algorithms or AI, X being one of them, right? Is it like it has the potential to, all algorithms influence people and control people in various different ways. Like I say, you could look at religion as being an algorithm. You could have the Buddhist 5 precepts could be a form of algorithm, you know, no evil, no sexual misconduct, not taking intoxicants, not killing, and God, I never remember. Anyway, so it can, you know, or the 10 Commandments, or the Torah could be considered an algorithm. You know, algorithms aren't necessarily just mathematical. I mean, they could be mathematically based, right? YouTube runs on an algorithm, you know, but then how could, you know, so doing something like renaming the Panama Canal the Gulf of America, you know, through Google is a prime example of how algorithm can control and influence and dictate. It's a scary situation. It's a scary situation. And do we want that in Canada? Right? You have to start asking yourself, you know, do you want CCP AI and algorithms in Canada? You know, there's none that I really know of. They may have like forged the way into, you know, aspects of society and government in ways that people generally don't know, you know, but does the general person, the general Jane and John Doe, want that in their country or their culture? No. Why would you want this government? And the thing about politics nowadays is it's so screwed because it is such a swing from the bling and a bang from the left. You know, it's like you're watching one thing and you get sucker punched from the left, you know, when you don't even see it coming. You know, it's become so complicated that you can't possibly know everything. You know, I heard Grimes talking about technocracy in one of her interviews, and I just didn't look it up because, you know, I just trying to take the gist of what it is that she's saying. You know, which is not saying that Grimes is aligned with Elon Musk or isn't aligned with Elon Musk. I don't know. I didn't know Grimes. But I don't know, the world, as it gets smaller, gets more complicated and more dangerous. You know, but for example, I think it's self-explanatory. I really think it's self-explanatory. Do you want American AI, American technologies inside of your lives, inside the lives of Canadians? And that's something, you know, you might want to consider. Another question might be, how do you keep it out? soiree of different people, and it was very much about, it was like an AI summit that was in private. It was a kind of a technocracy kind of thing. And now I understand what the connection is between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. It's technocracy and oligarchy. Maybe they're two different names for the same thing, like sociology and technology. It's very important to sort of look at, be open-minded about concepts, because like technology and sociology, these two words are interchangeable. You know, and when you talk about culture, right, you're not specifically talking about race, but you're talking about culture, the culture of a country, the culture of a place. The culture of Quebec is slightly different than the culture of Canada. The culture of Canada is slightly different than the culture of Alberta, you know, but they're very similar. They're more similar enough to call them all one country. And you want to, how do all these things fit together, and to whom, for whose benefit? Who is benefiting from it all?